Hey everyone, it's Sammy, and today I'm going to be talking about the time I almost drowned on 4th of July. Hi guys, it's Sammy. I just started editing this video and I realized it's, of course, out of focus. It's not horrible, but you can tell, like, I flopped, whatever. I'm also too lazy to redo it, so you know what? You guys are just gonna have to enjoy it, but there's our precursor. Enjoy. Okay, let me give you a little bit of context. So this was this summer, 2023. I had just been a part of a summer intensive on Hilton Head Island. If you don't know what Hilton Head Island is, it's on the coast of South Carolina. It's beautiful, it has all these glorious beaches, it's amazing, and it's known for like a big vacation spot for the summer. So how the intensive worked was the first 2 weeks was all rehearsing for a show, and then the last 2 weekends is when our families could fly up to Hilton Head and watch us perform. So my family's plan was on the last weekend, all my family would fly up, watch me in the show, and then we would have an additional vacation where we would have our own house on the island, because how it worked was the students were in apartments, so we didn't really get to experience much of the beach or the island. So the plan was to have our own free time as a family once the camp ended and spend the 4th of July in our own beach house. Additionally, my parents brought up my best friend Sophie. Now Sophie and I have been best friends since we were like 8 or 9 years old. We met through doing theater, so we've always done a bunch of shows together and we're still close as ever. Then my parents said I could also bring in a different friend if I wanted to. As I'm doing this camp, I start to become very close with this girl named Sarai. And Sarai and I instantly become best friends in this camp. Like, we're always at each other's rooms, we're always hanging out together. Also, our characters in the show were best friends, which just like made everything easier. So after talking to her mom, she was able to join us on the trip too. So it's me, Sophie, Sarai, my parents, my grandparents, my aunt, my godmother, and my uncles, all in this huge beach house. This huge beach house was a part of this resort type of thing where it was like closed in. I didn't have a car. Sophie didn't have a car, so I didn't. My parents did, and my aunts did. So the only way we could leave is, borrowing their car. But we weren't gonna like go anywhere because we had everything we needed. We had restaurants, we had a private beach. It was amazing. We didn't need to leave. So this private beach, of course, once you start walking outside of it, it's, you can walk as far as you want, and you start to run into other resorts, beaches, and that's how you meet people. At night, me and the girls would go out and we would walk on the beach and hang out, and we would eventually run into other people and start making friends with them. We're all super social, so that's what we wanted to do. We were there for 3 nights total, and on the first 2 nights, we were just going out, seeing whoever we could find and making friends with them. On the second night, we run into this group of boys, and we start talking to them, and they're pretty cool, they're pretty fun. The most friendly guy of this group is this guy, let's call him Jack, because I think it started with a J, so let's call him Jack. That's not the point. The point is, the second night, we hung out with them for the majority of the night, and it was great. Now, Jack lived here. Jack lived in Hilton Head, so he knew all these people. He knew a bunch of like the locals already and like the teenagers who were planning other stuff. The next day, aka our last night on the island, was 4th of July, and I love 4th of July. I was so excited to spend 4th of July on a beach because I love fireworks. I always spend 4th of July on the beach. It's like a whole tradition. Jack texts us the next day and lets us know that there's going to be a 4th of July party.
That's suspicious.
We are stoked. We're like, oh my god, we are going. Now, we were gonna have our parents drive us, but the party was gonna start like 9 o'clock, and my parents and the rest of my family had like a whole thing they were doing at like 8, so there was just no time. No one could pick us up because to get into our place, you had to have like a resort code, and we didn't even know the resort code, so so our solution was to walk, which was not bad. It was like 2 miles away from what we looked at on maps, so we were like, okay. So it's that night, we are fitted out, and this is important. Like, we are fitted out, like, we are wearing boots, we're wearing our swimsuits, but we have on stuff over our swimsuits. We're already running late. Sophie hadn't eaten any food, and I'm trying to get her out the door. So she quickly is like, okay, I'm gonna take a hot dog, and she puts it in this like 4th of July fanny pack, wraps it in tin foil, and we're like, we're on our way. And we start walking down, and our walk is fine. We're listening to music, we're having a good time. It's all great, we got a playlist going on, it's good. So we're on our way over there, and then all of a sudden we get too close to where the party is. Like, we're looking on the snap map and we can see his Bitmoji over there, but right in front of us is just a huge body of water. Like, it's a bunch of rocks, water, another side of the beach, and we're like, oh, this is important because it did not show up on the maps. Like, when we looked on the maps to get there, there was no indication of this like body of, I don't even know what it was, but it was essentially the water from the ocean caved in, circled around, and then spit back out. I don't know what that's called, but there was a space between our beach and the beach where everyone else was. Like, we are so close. We can practically see the people right over there. We can see people on the beach. We can see all these people, and there's so much water separating us. And we're like, what do? We look up. There's no bridge. There is no sandbar. There is no way to get around this. There is no way to get around this. We knew at that moment, if we had to go here and get to this party, we had to get into the water. And we all talked about it for a second, and we were like, you know what? Let's go. Another kind of issue was that Jack was on the other side, so he couldn't help us across, and we had no idea how deep this was. We start like getting in, and like it's slippery, so we start falling in, and it's like deep, and we're like trying to walk all around the edge of where our beach drops off to see if there's a shallow spot. And eventually we realized the shallowest part was to where the water flew out into the ocean. And we start getting in. I lead the way because I'm a really good swimmer. I've always been a really good swimmer. And I hold on to the girls. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, let's just go, and we have to get across as fast as we can. I had no idea like if the water had like current, if there was a strong tide that was gonna pull us out. We start swimming. And then all of a sudden, as we're kind of like halfway across, we start feeling this pull. And it's a tide. The tide is pulling us out to the ocean. And mind you, we are wearing clothes that are weighing us down. Like, we are all wearing shoes that are dragging us down. Sarai had on boots. And we're all panicking, and everyone's like grabbing onto each other. And Jack is like coming this way to try and grab us. And at this moment, we are kind of like, oh my God, we're gonna die. Like, we're gonna die. Like, our heads are starting to sink below the water. We're like laying up. It's terrifying. And all while this is happening, we're slowly like shimming across to try and get closer to the other side. Jack grabs Sophie and starts to like go off that way, and then I grab Sarai. We are all being pulled out, and we had to like swim diagonally to get to grab some sand. So then we grab onto each other, and Jack grabs onto something on the other side of the beach. I think it was like a log that was like in the sand, and pulls us through. Eventually we get up onto the beach, and we are soaked. Like, we are about to go to this party, and we are soaked. Our outfits are ruined. We are in like, while we were wearing bathing suits, we were also wearing clothes on top that were not waterproof or like meant to be in the water. So it was drenched. Our hair was drenched, like makeup was smeared. It was just not cute, but we survived, so that's all we were thankful for. In the middle of the situation, we're all just like, oh my God, we almost just died. Sophie just reaches into her fanny pack that she packed earlier, pulls out the hot dog, and the hot dog survived, was not wet, and just eats it right there. We were not even thinking about how we were gonna get back because we did not want to deal with that. We just, you know, we went over this one hurdle. Let's not think about the other one. Then we ended up having a great time. The party was amazing. Like, we met all these locals to Hilton Head Island, and of course, like, we made all these friends. Sarai got on the lifeguard tower and was dancing, and there was like an actual fight that occurred, a fist fight, and we stayed out of the way of that, but it was just crazy. And the best part was there were fireworks that were shot off of the beach that we could see right there, and it was gorgeous to watch the fireworks light up the sky on 4th of July. It was cool. It was a party. It was a bunch of teenagers having so much fun, and I loved it. We danced, we made friends, and then the cops came because of the fight. These two guys, I don't know what they were fighting about, but all of a sudden I'm talking to this girl who I just met, and with Sarai, and we turn over, and these guys start punching each other, and they're like into the sand, and like a circle starts to form around them, and everyone's like, fight, 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 fight. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? See, they all go to school with each other, so this must have been some like school drama where the guys already knew each other and there was some beef there. But I was just happy to be included. I think the three of us were the only three people who like didn't live on Hilton Head. Like, I think we were the only three vacationers. I think everyone else went to the Hilton Head High School or a different high school in the area. So we had no idea who any of these people were or why they were fighting, but it was sure as hell as entertaining. And then the cops come to break up the fight, which was good. But then also that means that it was shutting everything down. And we're like, we have no idea how to get back. But thank God everything worked out. So Jack had his car at the site of this party, and Jack just took us home, and thankfully the lady at the gate for our like resort was kind enough, and I explained the situation to her, and she was like, all right, he just has to leave immediately when he drops you off. So yeah, that is the story about how my friends and I almost died this 4th of July. It was crazy, Would I do it again? Yeah, I would. Thank you guys for watching, if anyone even is watching. I'm just doing this for fun because it's senior year and I'm 18 and who cares? Like, who really cares anymore? I've always loved making videos. I don't know why I stopped. It makes me happy. So if I have 1 viewer, I have 100. If I have 0, I don't care because I'm doing this for my own enjoyment and my own happiness. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. If you want to like, you can like. If you want to comment, you can comment. I do not care. I appreciate support. But yeah, thank you to those who might be watching. Anyway, I will see you guys next time for whatever video I do. Bye.